Hello and welcome to the Elevate podcast. I'm your host, Patricia Nowakowski. I am a salon owner, educator, mindset, and leadership coach that helps salon owners go from overwhelmed and burnt out to motivated and empowered. It is my mission to help you systemize your business, generate more profit, and create a career that you are absolutely in love with. Join us every week to learn about the small shifts you can make to elevate your business regarding mindset, marketing, social media, business systems, and so much more. Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of the Elevate podcast. On today's episode, we're going to chat about how I celebrated with my stylist her very first redo. So on today's episode, I kind of want to chat about why adjustments happen and what effect it has on us as salon owners. And then I want to talk about why I celebrated it with my team member. So if you're a salon owner who every single time you get an adjustment phone call or an adjustment or redo request from a client and it literally just like makes you so angry or just like makes your stomach hurt or instills fear in you, today's episode is for you. I used to be like this inside of my business. One of the best things I've ever done for my business is connecting with other like-minded entrepreneurs outside of our industry. Last year, I joined Brand Builders Group, and it has truly transformed my business. Brand Builders Group is a personal brand strategy firm for influencers, thought leaders, and entrepreneurs. Their services are designed to help mission-driven messengers clarify their positioning and expand their reach and increase their revenue. There is nothing more powerful than having a dialed-in personal brand. I've gained so much clarity thanks to working with my brand strategist and attending Brand Builders Group events. If you are ready to create an impactful personal brand, check out Brand Builders Group. To learn more, click the link in the show notes. There's so much fear around getting adjustments and so much annoyance around getting adjustments for salon owners. But let's start off with why adjustments happen. So adjustments are going to happen for a few reasons. It's going to be lack of communication, the ability to really understand what the client is looking for, and the ability to create the result that the client is looking for. It is something that can happen if the value of the service doesn't meet the price point of what the client paid, or if technically the care that was done and received isn't great. I can honestly say that most of the time adjustments do happen because of the lack of communication or the lack of understanding. And I think, of course, as hairstylists, especially being new in our industry, it's something that happens more often because we don't have the experience built up yet. And we are still working on perfecting these things behind the chair. Now, as a salon owner, redos can definitely spark fear. Fear of bad reviews, fear of not retaining clients, fear of a bad reputation. There's also, the fear of the added expense because obviously we know our products are incredibly expensive now more than ever. These are all things that just make us go, ugh. When I first opened my salon, I used to get so annoyed when my stylist would get redos. I had no empathy and I did not handle these things with grace. I can honestly say that I've worked so hard on transforming my leadership to really focus on utilizing these adjustment appointments to mold my stylists into better service providers behind the chair. I know that each one of you listening to this podcast, even if you don't do hair and you're the business owner, every time we make a mistake in our business, it's embedded in our brain and it's like a light bulb that goes off that's like, bing, I will never do that again. Or how can I fix this so it doesn't happen again? Any normal person that wants to experience growth has that mindset. We feel pain, we make an adjustment so we don't feel pain again, right? I've messed up countless amount of people's hair when I first started doing hair. I can honestly say I didn't get the best training for the first salon that I worked with. I worked with a hairstylist one-on-one as a personal assistant who was great, and I learned so much from her. But then once I got moved to the other location, I really didn't have the opportunity to learn. I was just kind of thrown into it. And that essentially put me in a place where I was just kind of winging it. And I made a lot of mistakes. The one thing that I hated at the very first commission salon that I worked at was that anytime I got an adjustment, nobody ever said anything to me. They never said anything to me. And I just saw that person sitting in somebody else's chair. So that learning opportunity was taken away from me in order to make me a better stylist because the people in charge didn't want to have difficult conversations and they just didn't say anything. It was just taken out of my paycheck and the person was put into somebody else's schedule. That person was paid. And then it just wasn't talked about. And there was so much shame and embarrassment because the management would have a discussion with the person that was doing the redo about why the client wasn't happy, but then no one would have the conversation with me of what I did wrong. So it definitely was something that didn't make me feel great. But in turn, it made me a better stylist because that prompted me to dive headfirst into as much education as I could. But I can honestly see if somebody did not have the same mindset as myself, them quitting this industry altogether. And I think that's one thing we have to remember as salon owners is that the very beginning stages of our hairstylist career is so very fragile. Their mindset is fragile. There's already so much fear about messing up. It really can bring down their confidence level when they do get an adjustment because we know that going into a service, we really do try our hardest to be our best. We really do the best that we have to our ability to deliver the thing that the client wants, right? Any good hairstylist is trying to do their best. I think there comes a point in people's career where they hit a wall and they just don't know how to make themselves better and they're not getting the result that they want and their confidence is already beat to shit that they end up quitting. And it is our job as salon owners to mold, to build trust, and to refine the areas that stylists in our business need refined. One, so we have a better business, but two, so we can create better stylists. So my stylist got her first redo, and mind you, she's been working with me. She is an incredible stylist. She is so good technically, and she is such a hard worker, and she is literally just so professional. If I could clone this person, I would. I wish I had 10 of her in my business. So I would say she's been working with me maybe 2 years, a year and a half. It's maybe 2 years, closer to 2 years. And she's never gotten an adjustment because she's very thorough with her consultations, with everything. She just is always spot on. So when she got her first adjustment, I think it kind of, she took it personal. And the reason for the adjustment wasn't because she did a bad job. It wasn't that at all. It was, I think, miscommunication, maybe. Maybe it was a change of heart from the clients and other factors that I really don't want to go into because I just don't really want to make anyone feel bad that's coming into my business or that's in my business. But it really wasn't because she did a bad job. She did a beautiful job. Now, this was a learning opportunity for her. So what was the lesson that she learned inside of this redo was that she just needs to write things down. She needs to take better notes in her file. She needs to take before and after pictures for every single guest because when you have the after pictures, you have your proof of what the client is leaving looking like. So it's not necessarily that she needed to refine her skills. It's just the fact that she needs to be better about obtaining and gathering all of the details. It's so important to do to build a solid business behind the chair. One thing is we can't make people feel bad for something that happens to all of us, right? We have to celebrate this because this was an opportunity to grow. It was an opportunity to become better. It was an opportunity to refine somewhere in her business, to close a gap that was happening in her business. And when we experience this type of pain point in our business, it usually never happens again because we're like, well, that sucked. I will never do that again. If you're a salon owner, please understand that when we have stylists in our business, the way we handle the difficult things matters. How we build trust with our team matters. The way we make our stylists feel in our business matters. And the way that we handle things like adjustments and redos are a beautiful opportunity to really shine and show off your excellence in leadership. And it's an opportunity to really just make your business stronger and better. So I hope today's episode was beneficial for you. If you loved today's episode, please subscribe and leave a review. If you are a salon owner and you are struggling with your leadership skills, this is exactly why I created the Elevated Salon Owner Collective. Leadership is one of our key components inside of the program. I love helping salon owners shift their mindset, their leadership, their accountabilities, their systems, and their expectations inside of their business to grow a stronger business that creates freedom for you. I hope today's episode was beneficial and talk to you next week. Thanks for tuning in to the Elevate podcast. If you loved this episode, it would mean the world to me if you would leave a review on Apple Podcast or wherever you listen. The Elevate podcast is hosted by me, Patricia Nowakowski, and is produced by Opulent Beauty Pro. To receive my free business guides, visit opulentbeautypro.com/free or click the link in the show notes. You can find me on Instagram at Opulent Beauty Pro or at Patricia_Nowakowski_OBS. If you love this show, please consider subscribing and we will see you next week.